A mini phone with big design. Is this the mini nothing phone too? This is my Unihertz Jelly Star review. Let's have a look. Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and here with my review of the Jelly Star from Unihertz, a very unique little phone here on the channel, and launching on June 13th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at an introductory price of $139. Pretty compelling here, guys. Take a look at what's inside the box first, but now let's also dive in to the details of this Unihertz mini phone. Starting with design. At 17 millimeters, 121 grams, built of this clear, hard plastic. A very interesting look here for this Jelly Star, and coming in two color variants, red or blue. I prefer the red here. I think it pops a bit more on the camera. And there you see the rear camera and fingerprint scanner and these big LED lights on the back. We'll get to that in a moment. It is cool seeing though the components inside and having this transparent look. I gotta give Unihertz props here for creating something unique but still very cool nonetheless. Talking about display, we have a 3-inch IPS LCD, 480 by 854 pixels. And you know, surprisingly guys, despite the tiny size, it's a usable, bright display, and you can do quite a bit on this device. Now, look, the size of the display is tiny, and you do have that capacitive button on the bottom, so pretty large bezels on this device, but watching content is still doable on this phone, and if you want the small package, you can still enjoy content on the go. Performance, and we're talking about the Helio G99, 8 gigs of DDR4X RAM, 256 UFS 2.2, and a 2000 mAh battery, which sounds meager, but it is a tiny display. Keep that in mind. Really surprising results here, guys. 400,000 and 2.2 score for this Jelly Star. And I do think scrolling on Twitter, the general experience of software on this device has also been great. I didn't expect performance to be one of the highlights of this phone. Yes, you can even play Genshin Impact if you like on the Jelly Star. And another thing I do appreciate is Android 13, a nice clean stock version here on the Unihertz Jelly Star. There you see the specs of the device, you can take a look, but honestly the performance combined with the software makes for a pretty decent experience on this tiny phone. The whole UI is smooth to the touch, and yeah, it's only 60 Hz, but you don't really notice the lower refresh rate on such a tiny display. Now let's get to these LED lights. They are a bit gimmicky, but they are super bright, guys, and I think for certain use cases with phone calls, text messages, or charging, you can turn these on manually as well. There may be some use to it. I know that nothing phone does this kind of thing, but in this case, this is really more of a flashlight setup on this phone. Yeah, it's not anything amazing, but it is a cool aspect of the design, and I do think they've at least tried something different here, which I give them props for as well. Now the fingerprint scanner though is a different story, rear facing, and one of the most frustrating scanners I've had to use in a while. Because of the size of the phone, you have to do some real phone gymnastics. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It can be a very frustrating experience using the fingerprint scanner on this phone. And comms, this is a 4G device with Wi-Fi AC, Bluetooth 5.2, but a nice feature is also NFC included, so Google Pay will work with the Jelly Star. And the audio speaker test, single bottom firing, but we do get a 3.5mm headphone jack. Let's have a listen. Small phone equals small speakers, 6 out of 10 for this phone. And wrapping up with the cameras, we have a 48 megapixel main shooter, an 8 megapixel front facing camera, And yeah, it's a tiny window to shooting here, but at least we do have cameras, and they're not too bad actually on this device. Decent shutter speed on the Jelly Star, as you can see. And generally, yeah, the touch points are a bit harder to hit than if you're using a large standard size device. But there you can see at least a clean interface for video recording on this Unihertz Jelly Star. And I do also appreciate that they've at least included up to 2K video recording, 1080p as well for the rear video of this phone. But have a look at these samples and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And here's some rear-facing video on the Unihertz Jelly Star shooting in 1080p. You can't expect much from a main single sensor on this phone, but you know, it captures decent video, I'd say, overall. And this is front-facing video on the Unihertz Jelly Star shooting in 1080p. But considering this is such a tiny phone, 1080p on the front camera at this price point is decent, and I'd say actually is solid. But listen to the mics, hear how they sound, and hit me in the comments. What do you think? So that's it for this video and my final verdict on the Unihertz Jelly Star. Always interesting to try out different products here. Small phone here on the channel. 402 Antutu was very impressive. I'd say the performance was something I was not expecting from this device. And yeah, Genshin does stall quite a bit, but it is playable on lower settings. Now, is this Jelly Star really the mini Nothing Phone 2? Probably not. It really isn't, guys. But it is an interesting little phone with more power than I expected. Look, the LED lights are gimmicky, but they are cool, and the design, I think, is the standout for this phone. So if you are interested, definitely check out the super early bird from $139 for this Unihertz Jelly Star starting on June 13th. But hit me up in the comments, what are your thoughts on the Jelly Star? And would you pick up a tiny phone like this, maybe as a backup phone? I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon for future updates. Stay tuned, guys. 5th anniversary coming up on Frankie Tech. Like, subscribe. Appreciate all the support. And this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one.